Is this it? Or is there another chapter?
Oh, I've wondered if I've plateaued.
You haven't plateaued.
No, but I always wonder,
yeah.
So where does it go from here? Like I'm on my second arena tour. Where does it go? I've done movies. I'm doing a TV show.
Did you just see a headline that feels too dramatic to be real? On November 21, 2025, during SmackDown's live broadcast from Denver's Ball Arena, the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes was taken down in a brutal, no-sanctioned assault by Drew McIntyre on the champion's own tour bus. The attack left Rhodes with a severe axial compression of the cervical spine, an injury that could rewrite the story of the impending War Games showdown. Now, a fresh clip from the hospital has gone viral, giving us a raw, inside look at the aftermath. Stay with us as we break down what this footage reveals, what it means for Cody's future, and how the WWE Universe is reacting to a moment that could shift everything. On the evening of Friday, November 21, 2025, the atmosphere in Denver's Ball Arena was electric as fans packed the stands with the anticipation of a showdown that could define the next chapter of WWE. The SmackDown broadcast promised a pivotal moment in the Last Time Is Now tournament and a build-up to the upcoming Survivor Series War Games, but instead unfolded as a brutal, unsanctioned assault that has left the wrestling world in shock. In the middle of the live show, a segment that was meant to showcase the champion's resolve turned into a crime scene, revealing a calculated attack that would reverberate across storylines and the ring for weeks to come. The scene began as most WWE shows do. Paul Heyman, flanked by his latest acquisitions Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, addressed the ring in a fervent promo. He declared that the Vision would slaughter 5 heroes at War Games, turning the match into a strategic operation rather than a sporting contest. The Usos, reunited for the first time in months, burst through the ropes, shouting defiant slogans and refusing to stand idly by. Their entrance signaled that the alliance between these former rivals was fragile, held together only by the shared hatred of the Vision's mercenary ambitions. Suddenly, the familiar music that heralds Cody Rhodes, his signature anthem, Kingdom, echoed through the arena speakers. The crowd rose to its feet, chanting "Whoa," as the fans expected the customary pyrotechnics, the camera zooms, and the heel's entrance. But the ring remained empty, the announcer's voice trembling as he informed the audience that Rhodes was missing. The absence of the undisputed WWE champion was not just a production glitch, it was a harbinger of the night's chaos. The music played on, filling the silence with an eerie resonance that amplified the growing tension in the stadium. In the next moments, the camera cut to a shaky handheld feed taken from the loading dock behind the stage. The grainy footage mimicked the police body cams that had recently been used during a Raw brawl that spilled into the streets outside the arena. The new style of presentation grounded the escalating feud in visceral realism, offering a window into the gritty world that had been constructed over the past months. The camera focused on the locked doors of Cody Rhodes' personal tour bus, an emblem of his status as the face of WWE and the private sanctuary that kept him on the road. The door creaked open, and a figure stepped out into the dimly lit hallway. It was Drew McIntyre, a superstar whose storyline suspension had left the fans uncertain of his motives. McIntyre's expression was not one of wounded pride or competitive rage. It was a cold, satisfied grin that suggested a deeper, darker intent. He wiped his hands on a nearby table, a gesture that was as much a mockery of the potential carnage inside as it was a display of control. He moved with a deliberate, predatory grace, and the audience could feel the air shift as he approached the door. Then, without a single shout or warning, he stepped inside, closing the door behind him with a final, chilling click. An SUV parked outside the bus was already idling, ready to carry McIntyre away from the stunned witnesses who could only watch from the sidelines. The shockwave was immediate. The live feed cut back to the ring, where Paul Heyman's face was a mask of fury and disbelief. The moment had not just broken the narrative arc of the show, it had rewritten the rules of engagement for the upcoming War Games match. In just 8 days, the stakes of the event were now magnified by a real, physical threat. The odds had shifted, and the world of betting reflected the new reality of a champion who could no longer guarantee his safety on the road. The assault revealed a deeper layer of conflict within WWE's late 2025 landscape. The vision, under Heyman's ruthless leadership, had pivoted from family loyalty to mercenary efficiency after the fallout of the original bloodline. The group's composition was unusual. A former champion consumed by bitterness, a media mogul who had become a new idol, a brute of raw power in Brock Lesnar, and 2 younger heavyweights, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, who served as the muscle behind the operation. Their goal was not merely to hold titles, but to dismantle the old guard, systematically erasing the heroes who had built the company's mythology. Opposing them was a coalition.
I didn't even sign my release papers. I told them I was done on social media, which is none of this works anymore. None of this flies anymore. I had to leave, and I've heard
Born of survival rather than camaraderie. Dubbed Team Rhodes, or Team 2.0, this uneasy alliance featured Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion juggling championship duties and family life; CM Punk, the rebellious world heavyweight champion whose volatile temper often threatened to derail plans; Roman Reigns, the original tribal chief whose alignment with his former nemesis and former champion marked a significant twist in his storyline; and the Usos, the emotional glue that bridged the gaps between the other factions. The tension among them was palpable, with backstage arguments between Punk and Reigns hinting at possible fractures that could jeopardize the War Games effort. The Raw brawl that preceded the Smackdown had already escalated the hostility, spilling out of the arena and into the streets. By incorporating police body cam footage, WWE injected a level of gritty realism that had rarely been seen in the show's history. This creative decision highlighted the stakes. The lines between entertainment and real conflict had blurred, and the violence that unfolded in Denver would become a defining moment in the company's narrative. The assault itself was meticulously staged to create maximum impact. It began with a standard promo exchange, but it was the omission of the champion's entrance that set the stage for the tragedy. The music's echo was a chilling reminder of what was at stake, while the shaky handheld footage of the tour bus brought the audience face to face with the violence. McIntyre's methodical entry and the swift removal from the scene underscored the predatory nature of his character, raising questions about his psychological breakdown and the manipulative tactics of Paul Heyman. In the days that followed, the incident dominated the headlines. Medical teams confirmed that Cody Rhodes had suffered axial compression of the cervical spine, a severe injury that could jeopardize his future in the ring. The diagnosis sent a wave of concern through the wrestling community, prompting discussions about safety protocols and the limits of storyline violence. The incident forced WWE's creative team to reevaluate the War Games narrative, with the potential for a dramatic reversal or a deeper exploration of the character's resilience. The fallout also opened a window into other storylines. AJ Lee's return added a new dynamic, while John Cena's retirement tour provided a nostalgic backdrop that contrasted sharply with the current chaos. Ilya Dragunov's rise as a dominant United States champion added further layers to the championship picture, highlighting the opportunities and challenges that would emerge from the altered competitive landscape. As the storylines unfolded, Drew McIntyre's psychological decline became a focal point. Fans and commentators speculated about his motivations, with some suggesting that the system had betrayed him, while others pointed to Heyman's Machiavellian manipulation. The attack on Cody Rhodes forced WWE to confront questions of loyalty, redemption, and the thin line that separates heroism from villainy. In the end, the night of November 21, 2025, stands as a watershed moment in WWE history. The attack on Cody Rhodes inside his personal tour bus, broadcast live to millions, rewrote the narrative of War Games and reshaped the competitive field. The alliance of the Vision, with its blend of modern celebrity and raw power, now faces a hero who has been physically and emotionally scarred, setting the stage for a dramatic showdown that will test the limits of courage, loyalty, and the indomitable spirit that defines professional wrestling. The clip that erupted across social media was uncomfortably intimate, a stark window into the raw brutality that unfolded on the night of November 21. In the dim fluorescent glow of a hospital corridor, a recovered Cody Rhodes limped into view, his face a study in pain and resilience. The footage, captured by a concerned cameraman who had followed the emergency team into the facility, shows a man whose body tells a story far darker than the gleaming lights of the WWE ring. Blood pools around a lacerated forehead, the result of a forceful collision with the bus's steering wheel, the same force that slammed him into the Tree of Woe pose. His legs locked above the wheel, his upper body inverted, the symbol of his humiliation inverted as well. The visual metaphor is unmistakable. A hero turned victim, his sanctuary violated, his dignity twisted. The medical team's diagnosis, released moments after the footage was leaked, confirms the extent of the damage. Axial compression of the cervical spine, accompanied by a cervical strain and severe spasm. The word axial compression carries a chilling resonance. It indicates a vertical crushing force that, in the cramped confines of a touring bus, could result from a piledriver or a sudden, forceful impact. The imaging ruled out a fracture, but revealed a bruised, spasm-laden neck that would cripple rotation, leaving Rhodes vulnerable in any high-impact sequence. For a wrestler whose repertoire includes high-flying spots, suplexes, and the likes of Brock Lesnar's thunderous suplexes, this injury is not a footnote. It is a potential career-ending Achilles heel. In the weeks that follow, every move on the War Games field will feel weighted. The audience will know each suplex is not just a display of strength, but a calculated risk that could spell disaster.
Legally, the attack's ramifications extend beyond the physical wound. General Manager Nick Aldis had already suspended McIntyre indefinitely, citing his assault on referee Dan Engler. Yet the War Games rules, which allow team captains to recruit any talent across brands regardless of GM sanction, opened a loophole. McIntyre, though persona non grata on SmackDown, is eligible for Survivor Series, and his appearance on November 21 was technically trespassing. Aldis's declaration of McIntyre as persona non grata had no power to stop a guerrilla assault in a private vehicle. The storyline now hinges on whether this loophole will become a point of contention in the weeks to come. Will McIntyre be held accountable in the ring, or will he exploit the rule to exact a personal vendetta against Rhodes? Either way, the violation of a wrestler's private sanctuary becomes a central motif, underscoring a new era of realism where the lines between show and real-life safety blur.
The hospital footage also amplifies the symbolism of the Tree of Woe. The inverted position, with Rhodes' legs trapped behind the wheel, evokes the classic Tree of Woe hold, a wrestling maneuver that immobilizes an opponent. By flipping that image, the attackers inverted Rhodes' persona, from the American Nightmare to a figure of terror. The blood-stained floor beneath him stands in stark contrast to the clean corporate veneer WWE traditionally maintains. The footage was labeled a massacre by WWE's official YouTube channel, a hyperbolic term that underscores the severity of the attack. For fans and wrestlers alike, it is a chilling reminder that nowhere is truly safe, and that the battlefield can shift from a ring to a private bus. In the midst of this grim narrative, the Last Time Is Now tournament continued, a beacon of hope and a counterpoint to the darkness. John Cena, now Intercontinental Champion, carried his own saga into Survivor Series, where he would face Dominic Mysterio. In the tournament's first bout, Carmelo Hayes confronted the towering Bronson Reed. Reed's dominance was clear, but the interference of a bandaged Cody Rhodes, who, despite his cervical injury, delivered a crossroads, turned the tide. Hayes' countout victory, facilitated by Rhodes, not only advanced Hayes, but also forged a tangible alliance between the veteran and the rising star. The gesture signaled that Rhodes' spirit remained unbroken. He had not been reduced to a mere victim, but was an active force in shaping the future. Meanwhile, Penta's unexpected win over Finn Balor hinted at a broader shift. Balor's loss could signal a temporary pause in his main event push, opening the door for international talent to shine in the post-McMahon era. Other tournament outcomes, such as LA Knight's victory over a returning Zack Ryder and Jey Uso's advancement over Rusev, added layers of intrigue. The narrative tapestry that WWE has woven is dense. Each match outcome influences not only the tournament's progression, but also the storyline arcs that will unfold in War Games. The interference in Hayes versus Reed is a reminder that even amidst tournament drama, the central conflict between Rhodes and McIntyre remains a looming shadow. As the weeks progress, the War Games event itself will likely shift tactics to exploit Rhodes' injury. Targeting his neck in every match, using the axial compression as a narrative device will raise the stakes. The audience will feel the tension. Each suplex will carry the weight of potential danger. Simultaneously, the tournament's victors, Hayes, Balor's replacement, and Cena's looming clash, will be positioned to either defend or seek redemption. The storyline's current heartbeat is a complex mix of violence and hope, of legal loopholes and symbolic inversions. The virus-spreading hospital footage does more than shock. It anchors a new narrative that wrestlers and fans must navigate. The road to War Games is not only about the championship or the Last Time Is Now victory, but also about confronting the brutal reality that has intruded into their world. The latest clip that has taken the internet by storm shows Cody Rhodes, eyes bruised, shivering in a sterile hospital room. His bandaged neck, the stark centerpiece of a new era of WWE storytelling. The footage, leaked by an anonymous source, is raw and unfiltered. No CGI, no post-production gloss. The camera lingers on the whitewashed walls, the cold metal of the IV pole, the way the fluorescent lights flicker just enough to hint at an undercurrent of unease. The camera then cuts to Rhodes' face, his brows furrowed, his jaw clenched as he whispers, "I'll be fine." That line, captured with a handheld lens, echoes the cinematic realism that WWE has recently embraced, turning a backstage incident into a shared moment of collective anxiety among fans worldwide. In the aftermath of the bus attack, the world had already been reshaped by the brutal brutality that took place on the open road. A hospital footage, however, takes that darkness and channels it into a visceral reality that fans cannot ignore. It forces a question into the ring. If a wrestler's neck can be so severely compromised, will the War Games showdown still be a spectacle of raw power, or will it turn into a test of endurance and survival? Cody's injury is not just a narrative device. It is a tangible medical condition that will be tracked in the storyline, with medical updates from WWE medical staff and with the commentary team meticulously repeating the diagnosis of axial compression throughout future broadcasts. This creates a chilling authenticity that is a new hallmark of the company's reality era aesthetic. The tension in the women's division also escalates as the November 21st Smackdown cements a new lineup for the Women's War Games. AJ Lee's return has fans buzzing. Her presence injects a decade's worth of nostalgia into an already volatile roster. She joins Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss, forming a dream team of champions. Yet, within that dream lies a storm. Ripley and Flair have a long history of rivalry, and Bliss remains an unpredictable wildcard. The backstage segment that saw Bliss mediate between Ripley and Flair illustrates the internal friction that could split the team as easily as the men's War Games might split the Vision. AJ's role remains ambiguous. Is she the quiet peacemaker, the catalyst for chaos, or the wild card that could tip the scales? Meanwhile, the men's War Games lineup remains heavily skewed toward the Vision. With Drew McIntyre's ruthless bus assault on Cody Rhodes, the heel faction's advantage is clear. Rhodes, now a man wounded not just physically but emotionally, will be a prime target. The commentary team, likely featuring seasoned voices such as Michael Cole and Corey Graves, will keep the medical terminology front and center, repeating axial compression to remind viewers that every suplex and spear could be a life-threatening move. This is a stark contrast to the overblown theatrics of the past, grounding the spectacle in a palpable reality that has never been so directly addressed. The United States Championship scene also provides a counterpoint to the chaotic War Games atmosphere. Ilya Dragunov's defense against J.D. McDonough in an open challenge illustrates a wrestling world that is still driven by pure, relentless work rate. Dragunov's win, secured through a brutal powerbomb and an H-bomb elbow drop, demonstrates that the U.S. title can be a platform for a relentless, gritty style, distinct from the overbooked chaos of the main event scene. Fans appreciate a champion who does not rely on theatrics, but instead relies on sheer strength and resilience, an echo of the narrative that Cody Rhodes, despite his injuries, remains a force of resilience. Tag team action continues to ripple through the mid-card with DIY's victory over Fraxium, a win that ends on a controversial note as Candice LeRae interferes, unmasking Axiom. This hints at a darker, underhanded turn for DIY that may culminate in a mask versus title showdown. Such developments keep the mid-card unpredictable, ensuring that every segment, from singles competition to tag team bouts, remains engaging. Production-wise, WWE's new body cam approach to recapping the Raw brawl and the shaky cam style of the McIntyre bus attack signals a deliberate shift toward a cinema verite style. This stylistic choice, breaking the polished fourth wall presentation, creates a feeling of unscripted chaos. Fans feel the sweat, the blood, the raw intensity, and they cannot help but imagine themselves in the room with Rhodes, in the back of the bus with McIntyre, or in the ring with the men's War Games teams. That immersion is not accidental. It is a strategic narrative decision to heighten the stakes and to make the impending Survivor Series feel like a must-watch event. The psychological dimensions of the War Games narrative cannot be understated. McIntyre's portrayal as the most dangerous man in WWE is solidified by the bus assault footage. His ability to reach a champion anywhere in the world showcases a rogue agent of pure menace. Yet, by failing to incapacitate Rhodes completely, McIntyre may have inadvertently ignited a level of resilience in the American Nightmare that the Vision was not prepared to counter. This dynamic will become a storyline within a storyline, a battle between a heel faction that thinks it has the upper hand and a hero who, despite the injury, is determined to fight back. Survivor Series predictions become inevitable as the universe turns its attention to San Diego. The match card, set for November 28, features high stakes. The IC title defended by Cena, a retired legend who plans to hang it up in his final year. The women's War Games between AJ Lee's Dream Team and the Vision's formidable lineup. And the men's War Games where McIntyre's Vision may finally claim the ultimate prize. Dominic Mysterio's face-off with Cena, the classic legend versus brat dynamic, will likely culminate in a title retention for Cena, given the narrative that he is in the midst of a farewell tour, which gives the championship an added layer of prestige. Judgment Day interference could still sway the match, but Cena's veteran status and the crowd's support may secure a final title defense.